Dominic Toretto and the gang are back to siphon the franchise for all it's worth. This time they're pulling Jason Momoa into their bullshit. However, he's the breath of fresh air needed in this now vintage nos-sucking, CO2 flatulating family franchise. Buckle up with FAST, Roman numeral for 10. Hello there, you loose units, and welcome back to another episode of Spicy Boy Reviews. I'm, of course, your host, Andrew Iles. That's right, the 10th installment of the Fast and the Furious franchise here, Fast X, directed by Louis Leterrier, known for directing Transporter 1 and 2, The Incredible Hulk, and Now You See Me. We opened the film 10 years earlier with a better Fast and the Furious sequel, Part 7. Back when the franchise was still technically a heist movie. We learned that the bad guy of that film had a son digitally inserted to pre-existing footage. And he's all kinds of psychopath, played here by steam-sealing Jason Momoa. He wants revenge for the death of his daddy poos, the bad guy from Desperado. Even though technically it wasn't Dom who killed his dad, but Hobbs, played by The Rock. But let's not get bogged down by on-set dick-measuring contests, because Vin Diesel isn't smelling what Hobbs is cooking. That's right, The Rock is sitting this one out. For now. Then we flash to present day, or wherever we're up to in the timeline with this franchise, and we have the obligatory barbecue and Coronas. It's copy and paste stuff from pretty much every installment in this franchise, until Furiosa shows up on Dom's doorstep looking like hammered shit. And she takes a massive exposition dump on his front doorstep, explaining to him that the biggest bad guy that ever bad guyed is on his heels. And it is, you guessed it, Aquaman. The team then split up across the globe and do their own missions, which can only go well. Yeah, they just come out and say that they're working for the agency now. They're just spies, they just call it out. Tyrese Gibson, Ludacris, Tokyo Drift, and Game of Thrones chick all jet off to Rome to complete a mission impossible. But wait! It's all a plot and a setup by the Joker. I mean, Jason Momoa. Dom and Letty swoop in to try and save the day, but everything goes tits up and yada yada yada. Now the whole team are wanted by everyone. They're framed, they got the agency after them, the police in every country after them, and of course, Jason Momoa. Then they all split up and do their own little side quests because we've got about 2.5 hours of film to fill. Dom's son is also on the run here, but you'd think Dom would send someone to protect him and carry him under his wing, but every scene Dom's son was in, I couldn't see a bloody thing. Everyone comes back for this 10th installment, and I do mean everyone. Kurt Russell decided, fuck this shit, I'm out, and he didn't rock up for this installment though. However, we get a replacement new head of the agency here, Jack Reacher. And Kurt Russell character's daughter, Brie Larson, who's really trying to be charismatic here. I mean, she's giving it a red hot go. We of course get the expected South American music, a little bit of streetcar racing here, neon lights a go-go, and close-ups of butts in bikinis. Along with what's expected in this franchise with not obeying the rules of physics. We do, however, get some practical effects here and there, and it's very much welcome. And it's noticeable, in a good way. But don't spend too long ogling it, because then we just get some out-of-this-world fuckery straight after. John Cena, returning from the last film, is playing a completely different character this time around. I mean, it's the same character technically by name, but the tone is completely different. However, it was really enjoyable to watch his side quest with Dom's son, and that's just its own comedy action film just waiting to happen. But the MVP, the best on ground, the best and most charismatic person in this film is Jason Momoa. This guy steals every bloody scene he's in. He's uber charismatic. He's overacting every scene that he's in, but damn it if it's not super entertaining. And you can tell he's having a really fun time. He's flamboyant, he's psychopathic, and it's clearly his interpretation of the Joker character, really. He's easily the best bad guy this franchise has had in a quarter mile. But on the flip side of that, let's be honest, the weakest link in this film is Vin Diesel. It's his franchise, yes, but I feel like he's worn out his welcome. He mumbles all of his lines, you don't give two shits about his motivation, I even forget what it was at most points. And every time he's on screen, he just bogs down the plot. I truly feel like this franchise has outgrown Vin Diesel's character Dom. Harsh, but true. The plethora of supporting cast here and previous installments is enough to carry this franchise with spin-offs, sequels and whatnot. But yeah, I think Dom Toretto's story has run its course. But of course this film ends on a little bit of a cliffhanger, so of course we're going to get a continuation of this storyline. Oh yeah, and I'll be fucked why people keep putting Pete Davidson in films. Yeah, that's right, he shows up for a cheeky little 5-minute cameo. Why is he a thing? I don't get it. Is for the Gen Zers? I don't know. I just find him really grating and fucking annoying. I don't know who I find more annoying, Pete Davidson or James Corden. Anyway, he pops up for a 5-minute cameo and then pisses off quickly. I will say though, if you're a supporting character with a 5-minute comedic scene, and you're known for being a comedic actor, yet your 5-minute cameo scene is less funny and annoying than the bad guy who is taking up 70% of the screen time and making me chuckle out loud, I'm just gonna say, you're shit at comedy. Quit. But I digress. I was actually surprised at how much I really enjoyed this film. I had a bloody good time. I thought the last installment, Fast and Furious 9, whatever you call it, the one where John Cena's the bad guy, I thought that was hot garbage. And you can hear about it in my cheeky review way back when. But I really had a good time with this installment. It's self-aware, it's super meta, it doesn't shy away from the cheese factor at all, and it's very tongue-in-cheek. I think the reason I really enjoyed this film is pretty much because of Jason Momoa. I suppose it's like Bond films. It's only as good as its villain. And here, the villain was having an absolute blast. Jason Momoa is worth the price of admission alone. It's worth watching just for him. Anyway, guys, this film surprised me with how silly and a good time it was. That's my cheeky review of Fast X. Write down below if you've seen it, if you're a fan of the franchise, and what is your favourite installment. And of course, if you've made it this far into the episode, please give me a thumbs up because your love and support keeps me going, because I just love movies and I assume you do as well. And of course, don't forget to hit that subscribe icon because I give it episodes weekly, and I'll see you back here next week for the next review, and until then, stay spooky, kids.